So I decided to switch dosing methods on my Red Sea Reefer 250. I'm moving over to Triton. I'm moving from Aquaforest Components 123 to Triton Core 7. I put it out on my Instagram yesterday and I got a fair few questions asking why am I making the switch. This video is basically going to explain why I'm making the switch over to Triton Core 7 and how I'm going to make it as painless as possible and keep the tank as stable as possible whilst I'm making that transfer. Let's go. So let's start with the main question. Why am I looking to switch dosing methods? The tank's doing great, the coloration's great, I'm getting great coral growth, and I've sent off a recent ICP test and everything came back absolutely perfect, exactly where I wanted it. The main reason I'm looking to switch from Aquaforest is cost. So currently I'm dosing Aquaforest Components 1, 2 and 3. I buy it in bulk, they come in 5 litre containers and there's 3 parts. So you get 3 5 litre containers. That cost me £45 to buy, and I dose 96 millilitres per day. Over the course of a month, it cost me £25 to dose Aquaforest. Triton, on the other hand, it's a 4-part solution. You get 4 litres of each of the solutions, and it costs £85. So face value, it looks like Triton is going to be more expensive. It's not until you actually dig a little bit deeper and you realise the concentrations are a lot different. So Triton is actually 8 times more concentrated than the current method that I'm using, the Aquaforest method. So instead of 96 mils per day, I will be dosing 12.8 mil per day. Over the course of a month, 12.8 mil times, say, 30 days is £8.10. So to dose Triton, it's going to cost me £8.10 per month, and Aquaforest was costing me £25 per month. So don't always look at face values. If you're looking to move dosing methods or start a dosing method, make sure you look at the concentrations as well. How much you will need to dose your tank to raise it, say, 1 DKH. So yeah, because there's vast difference between these two methods, and there's a lot of different methods that you can use in the market. I'm not saying use these, I'm not saying use Triton. All I'm saying is this is the one that I've picked and this is the reasons why. So yeah, that's the main reason I'm looking to switch over to Triton. Concentration's a lot higher, and the overall cost of dosing is 1/3 of the cost that I'm spending at the moment. We all want really nice tanks, and I mean, let's be honest, they cost a fortune to run anyway. The electric bill on this thing is crazy, and so I'm trying to cut down costs as much as I can. And for something as easy as just changing the dosing method, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm going to save 2/3 per month, so that's great. The second reason I'm looking to switch over is due to the concentration. So currently I'm dosing out of these 3 containers here, these 3 down here. They hold 1500 mil per container. I'm dosing pretty much 100 mils per day, so I'm filling up these containers every 15 days. It's becoming a bit of a chore, and to be honest, if I go on holiday for, say, 2 weeks, I don't want someone to come around who's looking after the fish tank and have to replenish these containers, because that's just asking for trouble. So that is another reason that I'm looking to switch. The concentration of this stuff is just so weak that I'm having to replenish the containers every 15 days, and as I say, it's just becoming a pain in the ass. So yeah, 12.8 mils per day. I've actually put them in these containers here, so it should make 4 litres of each solution, but I've made up 8 litres of each solution, so I've diluted it by 50%. So instead of 12.8 mil per day, I'll be dosing more like 25 mil per day, which is fine. It's still way below what I'm dosing on Aquaforest, so I can get away with filling the containers once a month rather than once every 15 days. I've got a fair amount to do today, so I'm going to jump behind the camera and show you exactly the process that I've got to do, because I'm moving the dosing from underneath the dosing pumps here to over here. And also, one thing you've got to watch out for if you're switching dosing methods is keeping your tank as stable as possible. Every company has their own calculator you can go on. I've been onto the Aquaforest calculator when I calculated my dosing for this, and I've been onto the Triton calculator to calculate how much Triton they estimate that I'm going to use. It's estimations, and it's not always 100% correct. So it's really important, if you're looking to switch dosing methods, that you are testing at least daily and at least just alkalinity. I'm going to be testing alkalinity daily, twice a day. I'm going to be testing it in the morning and in the evening, because I want to keep this tank as stable as possible through the transition of moving dosing methods. So yeah, as I say, I'm going to jump behind the camera, I'll show you exactly what I've got to do to move all of this across. Okay, so currently I'm dosing out of these 3 containers here. You can see just behind the Ion Direct reference solutions. That's being moved over to these 4 containers here, these 4 old Voss bottles. I was going to keep it down here, but I need 4-part solutions, so I've got to move them to over here. So I've got to remove all of this here. I've got to clean out these 4 dosing heads. Currently, the first 3 heads on this line are being used for aquaforest dosing, and the 4th head is being dosed. What am I dosing on that? Lanthanum chloride. I'm moving the lanthanum chloride up to this doser here, so that'll free up this head. So I'm going to clean out these 4 lines. I'm going to remove all of the existing dosing tubing and use fresh dosing tubing, but I've still got to clean out the dosing heads. I've then got to cut a hole in here so I can feed the line through this false back door. I've then got to reroute the dosing line coming through down to over here, because this is where I dose into the tank, just where you can see that little GHL logo. So I'm going to put fresh dosing lines in there. I'm also going to move the KH director. Currently I take the sample feed from this part here where I'm dosing, but I'm going to move it over to where I take the ion reference. So that needs to be done. I'm then going to, these 2 reference solutions here are currently sat on some Tupperware and it looks like absolute crap. So they're going to be pushed back into the recess. Same with my KH director reference solution, not reference solution, that's reagent. That's going to be moved over to there. I'm all about aesthetics, and currently it doesn't look very aesthetically pleasing. I've got these 2 sat on a bloody Tupperware pot, so that isn't really making me happy at the moment. So hopefully it'll make it look a lot cleaner. Then I'll have my 4-part dosing in plain sight then, so I can see exactly how much is left in the containers. And I think that's all I've got to do today. It will take me probably about an hour, 2 hours to do. I'm not going to make you watch it all or anything like that. I'm going to just come back to when I've done it. I'll show you around, and then we'll switch back to maybe 2 weeks' time, and we'll see how stable we've kept this tank throughout the transition period. So it's actually been a full week since I've done the switch, but everything is going pretty good, to be fair. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. One thing I did have to do was slightly amend my Triton dosing. I'm dosing from these 4 bottles here, these 4 bottles here. My estimations were 24 ml per day that I'd need to use because I've diluted it by 50%, but I actually need to use 26 ml per day. So when I first switched over, alkalinity was slightly dropping. I bumped it up to 26 and we got a stable alk. I left it at that stable alk, which I think was about 6.8 or 6.7 for a few days. And then I started to buffer it up day by day until it hit 7. And now we're pretty much stable on 7 DKH, so I'm pretty happy with that. I have been running tests on the ion director over here, and calcium is stable, magnesium is pretty stable, potassium's a little bit high, but I've got a water change to do today. I'm actually going to do a water change on this tank to try and level out the sort of macro elements. But so far so good, absolutely loving it. I'm liking the new layout as well. I'm probably going to block this portion off here with a bit of a piece of white timber so you can't see through there, or I'll just put something in front of it, I'm not really sure. I'm dosing from here, and actually you can probably see here, I'll do a close-up of that. I've actually had to add a small wave maker in there because when I was dosing the alkalinity portion of the Triton, it wasn't quite mixing in with the water. It was falling to the bottom almost like a jelly, so I thought if I put that power head in there, it does a really good job of mixing in all of the components that go in there as soon as they go in there, so it doesn't have time to settle or solidify. So yeah, that's in there now. I'm liking the new layout with here. I'd really like it if GHL would make the reference bottles the same as this reference bottle here, but I'm not going to moan. I do need to sort this wire out here because currently it's trailing across the floor, but I haven't had time to sort that out. And I think other than that, it's fine. As I say, I've been dosing a week, and you can see my old dosing containers down here. I used to refill these every 10 days. This has been going a week so far, and we're about quarter of the way down. So this should last a full month without me having to top these containers up, which is great. This is part of the reason why I did it, as well as costs. So yeah, I'm really happy with the switch. I'm going to send an ICP test off at the end of the month. I'm going to give it at least 1 full month before I send an ICP test off. And we'll see how they come back. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. Really can't complain. It was painless, it was easy to switch over, and thankfully we didn't have any alkalinity spikes. We've not had any crazy parameter swings, which is always good. That's the last thing you need when you're looking to switch this sort of stuff over. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do like, please do subscribe, and I shall catch you next week, guys.